So, I want you to imagine, just for a second, that you are a teenager.
Okay.
And you are forced to witness the literal apocalypse of your entire planet. Like, you watch your family, your friends, your culture, basically your entire world just burn to ash.
Right, the ultimate nightmare.
Exactly. And then you're put on a ship, you're sent across the universe to a totally foreign planet, and you're basically told, okay, now you have to smile, put on a cape, and be a symbol of hope for these strangers.
This is an unimaginable burden.
It really is. That is the impossible crushing burden of Kara Zor-El. And today, on our deep dive, we have a massive stack of early frame-by-frame breakdowns, analyst notes, and insider sources on the newly dropped DC Studios Supergirl trailer.
The 2026 release, yeah.
Right, the 2026 release. And our mission today, we're going to figure out why DC is completely throwing out the traditional superhero playbook, because the analysts are, frankly, absolutely losing their minds over this.
They really are. I mean, it's a complete subversion of what we've been trained to expect from a comic book movie over the last, 15 years.
Yeah, totally.
When you look at the breakdown of this trailer, the overarching theme is just undeniable. This is a deeply personal, emotionally raw, and frankly, decidedly darker journey.
We're definitely not getting the usual, shiny Boy Scout vibe here.
No, not at all. We are not looking at a shiny beacon of unblemished hope. We are looking at a survivor of a cataclysm.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the immediate comparison everyone makes, and, the sources say this trailer aggressively pushes against, is with her cousin, Superman.
Of course. It's unavoidable.
Right, and to really grasp why this new cinematic universe is making waves, we have to understand the fundamental difference in their psychology.
Exactly. And to understand that difference, we have to look at the mechanics of their respective origins. I mean, Kal-El's Superman, he was an infant when Krypton was destroyed.
A literal baby.
Right. So he didn't lose a life he actually remembered. He lost a heritage he never knew. He was raised by a loving, supportive family in Kansas.
Yeah, that safety net.
Exactly. His morality, his optimism, it was all forged by the safety net of a very healthy Earth upbringing. He really represents an immigrant experience where he just adopts his new home fully.
Think of Superman as someone who grew up with, the ultimate loving adoptive family. So his drive to save people comes from a place of love for the world that took him in.
Right. But Kara's entirely different. She was a teenager when Krypton died.
Yeah.
She remembers the sky of her home world. She remembers her parents' faces. She remembers the sheer visceral terror of her world shattering around her.
That's heavy.
It is. She carries the tangible grief of a planetary apocalypse in her mind every single day. If Superman represents the idealized immigrant experience, well, Kara represents the traumatized refugee experience.
She didn't get the Kens.
No, she didn't get a safety net at all. She had to fight just to survive the coldness of space.
Which perfectly explains why the notes highlight Millie Alcock's performance as, what was the quote? Raw and battle-hardened.
Yes.
But wait, I have to stop you here because my alarm bell's ringing just a bit.
Ooh.
How so?
Well, we've spent the better part of the last decade watching DC movies give us the, brooding, traumatized, edgy hero.
Right, the dark and gritty phase.
Yeah, and it's a trope that a lot of fans feel has been done to death. So doesn't leaning this heavily into trauma risk turning her into just another joyless, gritty character who stares angrily into the rain? Is this skepticism exactly what gives her a unique identity, or is it just more of the same?
That is the exact risk, honestly. But what's fascinating here is how the trailer navigates it through pure character motivation.
Okay, tell me more.
The analysts point out a crucial distinction in the breakdowns. Her trauma doesn't erase her heroism, it completely recontextualizes it.
So it's not just edge for the sake of edge.
No, not at all. She isn't saving people because she has this innate, sunny optimism about the universe. She's actually deeply skeptical of it.
Which makes sense.
Right. She is fighting because she knows exactly what it feels like to lose absolutely everything, and she refuses to let that happen to anyone else. Okay, so the psychological driver isn't hope. It's the refusal to let history repeat itself. It's like survivor's guilt, but weaponized into action.
Precisely. And you can see it in the mechanics of Alcock's performance in these frame-by-frame breakdowns. The notes mention her micro-expressions specifically.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, there's a moment in the trailer where she steps between a threat and a civilian. And she doesn't have that calm, reassuring half-smile that Superman has.
No, everything is gonna be okay. Look.
Exactly. Her jaw is clenched. Her eyes are wild. She looks like a cornered animal protecting its young. Her heroism is a conscious, exhausting choice that she has to make every single day, despite her overwhelming grief.
Man, that makes total sense. She's not fighting for a grand ideal. She's fighting against a nightmare she's already lived through once.
Exactly.
But here's where the trailer seemingly pulls a massive bait and switch, because usually when a director has a character with this much intense internal isolation, they match it with external isolation.
Right, the classic Gotham treatment.
Yeah. They put them in a dark, gritty, rain-soaked city. But according to the breakdowns, this deeply internal struggle is taking place against the backdrop of a massive, vibrant, cosmic space adventure.
It is. The visual world building is staggering, and it's just a brilliant cinematic choice. We aren't looking at a grounded city-level story here.
The sources say it's huge.
Oh, it's huge. The trailer reveals sweeping shots of completely alien worlds, sprawling empires, massive starships, breathtaking nebulas. We're talking explosive, cinematic space battles and brutal, visceral hand-to-hand combat on alien terrain.
But, like, how does that actually work on screen? Because usually when a superhero movie goes this big, when you introduce galaxies full of CGI, alien dreadnoughts, laser beams, the emotional core of the film gets completely swallowed by the spectacle.
Yeah, it becomes a light show.
Exactly, it just turns into a loud video game cutscene. So how does this trailer convince the analysts that it actually balances that sweeping cosmic scale with such an intimate, trauma-driven story?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the visual vastness of the cosmos is actually being used as a tool to highlight Kara's internal isolation. The directors are playing with scale.
Oh, interesting. How so?
The analysts note how the camera repeatedly pulls focus from these massively wide, chaotic shots of the universe and then snaps down to incredibly tight, claustrophobic close-ups of Kara's face.
Oh, wow. So the bigger and more chaotic the universe around her is, the smaller and more utterly alone she feels on the screen.
Exactly. It visualizes her emotional state perfectly. You feel the weight of how small she is in a universe that just doesn't care about her.
That's a great way to use the CGI budget.
Right. But to prevent the movie from just becoming an exercise in, cosmic depression, the trailer introduces the ultimate emotional anchor. And this is the part the analysts are really raving about.
Yes.
The introduction of Crypto the Superdog.
Okay, I was really hoping we would get to Crypto.
It is a stroke of absolute brilliance. The inclusion of Crypto deeply grounds her mission.
It's the ultimate reality check for a CGI-heavy movie, because you can have a character flying through a hyper-colored nebula, dodging laser blasts from a $200 million alien warship, but the second she reaches down to comfort her dog, you immediately relate to her.
Oh, I do.
It completely cuts through the digital noise.
Because it speaks to a very real human psychological truth. Think about the role of a service animal or an emotional support dog for someone dealing with severe PTSD.
Right.
Crypto provides a vital, tangible emotional anchor for Kara amidst the cold, chaotic expanse of space. The analysts overwhelmingly predict that this relationship is going to be the heartbeat of the film.
Because a dog doesn't care if you're a Kryptonian god with heat vision.
Nope.
A dog doesn't care about your survivor's guilt. A dog just knows you're its person, it needs to be fed, and it wants to sit by your feet.
Exactly. It gives her something to care for, something to protect, and something that loves her unconditionally when she feels entirely disconnected from every other living species in the galaxy. It pulls her out of her own head.
So we have this intensely focused, traumatized hero wandering the cold, massive cosmos with her loyal dog. It's a very serious, very poetic, almost solitary setup.
It is.
But a movie like that needs friction. If it's just Kara and her dog marching through space on a revenge mission, it's gonna get monotonous. You need a foil, a spark to ignite the powder keg.
You definitely do.
And the trailer apparently provides exactly that by throwing a massive wrench into her quiet isolation.
A very loud, very violent wrench, yes. We have to talk about the debut of Jason Momoa as Lobo.
The breakdowns from the analysts are practically glowing when they talk about these scenes.
And with good reason. For those who might not know the comic book history, Lobo was originally created in the 1980s, but he really took off in the 90s.
Right, the extreme era of comics.
Yeah, he was a deliberate, over-the-top parody of the gritty, ultra-violent anti-heroes that were so popular at the time. He is an interstellar bounty hunter who rides a space motorcycle, smokes cigars, and regenerates from a single drop of blood.
Which is just wild.
It is. Fans have waited decades for a live-action adaptation, and based on the footage, Momoa's casting is an absolute bullseye.
I mean, if you were to build an actor in a laboratory specifically to play an interstellar biker gang bounty hunter who thrives on chaos, you would literally just clone Jason Momoa.
You really would. He embodies the sheer physicality and the chaotic energy perfectly. The notes describe every scene featuring Lobo in this trailer as completely unpredictable.
He's just a wild card.
Exactly. He is loud, he is brash, and he engages in ultraviolence purely for his own entertainment.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Think about the dynamic this creates on screen. You have Kara, who is intensely focused, emotionally guarded, profoundly traumatized, and on a deeply personal mission.
Right.
And then you throw in Lobo, who is pure, unpredictable chaos. It's like mixing oil and water in deep space. It's like putting a grief counselor and a shock jock DJ in a minivan for a cross-country road trip.
Oh,
She wants quiet contemplation, and he wants to blow up the radio and drive the van off a ramp.
that is the perfect analogy. It is the ultimate cosmic odd couple dynamic. And from a narrative perspective, it's exactly the kind of pressure Kara's character needs. Lobo's complete lack of respect for boundaries is going to force Kara out of her emotionally guarded shell.
Right, because when you are hyper-focused and entirely closed off from the world, the only thing that breaks through that armor is someone who constantly pushes your buttons and ignores your silence.
Yes.
He's going to force her to react. He's going to make her lose her cool.
Which humanizes her.
Right.
It prevents her from being a static, miserable character. There's a moment described in the notes where Lobo is apparently causing absolute explosive mayhem in an alien cantina, just completely destroying the place with a giant grin on his face.
Classic Lobo.
Right. And the camera cuts to Kara just slowly closing her eyes and rubbing her temples in pure exhaustion.
That is so good. It brings levity, but not in a cheesy, studio-mandated insert joke here kind of way. It brings levity through pure, unadulterated anarchy.
It balances the scales of the movie perfectly. The trailer is signaling to the audience that yes, we are dealing with profound trauma and a deep emotional character study, but we are also going to give you a ridiculously fun, high-octane cosmic ride.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah. Lobo elevates the film from a somber march into a highly volatile, highly entertaining clash of personalities.
So what does this all mean? When we zoom out and look at this entire stack of analyst notes, when we piece together the raw, survivor guilt-driven emotion of Millie Alcock's performance, the breathtaking scale of the space adventure, the brilliant emotional grounding of Crypto the dog, and the absolute wrecking ball that is Jason Momoa's Lobo. What is the final consensus?
The consensus is overwhelmingly positive. The analysts have given this trailer a phenomenal 9 out of 10 rating across the board.
9 out of 10, that's huge.
It really is. They are setting incredibly high expectations that this could very well be the biggest superhero surprise of 2026. It promises emotional depth, stunning visual storytelling, powerful action, and most importantly, it takes one of DC's most iconic legacy characters and makes her feel entirely new.
And for you listening, whether you care about comic book movies or not, the reason this deep dive matters is because it highlights a universal theme.
Oh, absolutely.
We all carry our own versions of Krypton. We all have things in our past that have broken us or forced us to start over. And this film is fundamentally exploring how we deal with that trauma.
Right.
Do we let it paralyze us, or do we weaponize it to make sure the people around us never have to feel that kind of pain? The studio is treating Kara like a real, flawed, surviving person first and a superhero second.
It proves that if you are willing to look past the cape and really examine the scars underneath, there is so much rich, untapped thematic territory in these stories.
And it leaves us in a really fascinating, morally gray place, which brings us to something for you to mull over long after we wrap up today.
Right, because the sources make it clear that Kara is searching for her place in a universe that is entirely distinct from Superman's connection to Earth.
They're playing by different rules.
Exactly. Superman's morality is bound by the laws, the cultures, and the innate goodness he sees in humanity on Earth. But Kara is a battle-hardened survivor out in the vast, lawless cosmos.
He doesn't have those Earth anchors.
No, she doesn't. She is completely unbound by Earth's rigid definitions of what makes a hero. So we have to ask ourselves, when the chips are down and there are no safety nets left, what lines will she be willing to cross to win her battles?
When the traditional superhero rulebook is thrown out the window, you never know what she's going to do next. And finding out where she draws that line is where the true story begins.